Hello.
Hello.
Welcome
W
in.
Welcome in. Back on a Sunday.
We're
I got my
here.
hat on because it's windy as
My
shit here.
gosh. Well, Tressa and I have been talking for fucking 20 minutes without recording, and I didn't even
I
show
know.
Tressa my shirt. And so now I'm going to stand and show her
Okay.
anyways. Look at this shirt, Tressa.
Wow, I love it.
Look how badass.
My God, it's got moons and butterflies
And
and
a
the
sun
sun.
and like, what's
That's
that?
so cool.
Is it a spade? A bird? Angel wings?
Yeah.
Seashell?
Wow, that is cool. Where'd you get that?
I got it from Unique Perfections Boutique. I will tag them on our episode, but I will also
Yes.
send Tressa the link.
Yeah.
But it's a brand, like it's super cute. The brand's called Johnny Was, and I guess the brand was before Free People. And this is some of their stuff is,
I love free people.
yes, they give
Yeah.
you Free People vibes, right? Because they're kind of,
Okay.
Johnny Was came first kind of thing, chicken before the egg, right?
Right.
So like this shirt though, I saw it. My friend's family, they own the boutique, and I saw the shirt when his mom put it on, and I was like, I have to have that. Like, I don't really look at a ton of clothing anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I need that, but like,
Yeah.
it's badass, and it has like
Yeah, it's awesome.
everything on it. Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
coolest fucking shirt, and it's all embroidered, so it's not like
Yeah, it's not just
shit.
screen
It's not
printed.
like a yes,
Yeah.
and like I don't know, it's super cute and cut cute, and I don't know, it's badass. And they get crazy shit in their boutique. Crazy, good kind of crazy. Like they're unique. They get unique clothing,
Mhm.
and I love them. They're good people, and they have really unique stuff. So I will tag them because
Okay. Yeah,
here's an
please do.
unpaid sponsored post.
Yeah.
Shout out to a business because I love supporting businesses.
Yeah.
They are,
Send me the link.
yeah,
I wanna
they're a
look at their
boutique.
stuff.
Yeah, I will. You'll love it.
That's awesome.
They're cool
Yeah.
people. But anywho, that's besides the point. But I had to interject.
Yeah.
It was episode worthy for
It
those
was
who watch.
episode worthy, I know. We were sitting here talking for, like, 20 minutes. I'm like, "Holy shit, we said some good shit. We should have been recording."
I know. We do that all the time, but it's
I know
nice.
we do, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's
but
okay.
anyways, well, we can kick it off. I'll just start chatting because honestly, we had so many great conversations and we went different places. So I'll just start with sharing a story that I was telling Tressa. So this week's been really interesting. I've been getting back on the wagon, folks, and really like locking in and trying to have some sort of routine. I talk about this every other week, I feel like, but I follow the planets and transits and I talk about it a lot. And Mercury is coming out of retrograde this week. We're about to move into Aries season, which starts the astrological new year. It's the first sign in the zodiac. And so
Mhm.
right now we're in Pisces, and Pisces season is like the final breath. So it's the end of the zodiacs, and we're coming in spring. Think about that in general. Like this is starting to also become the new year too, when spring is blooming. So not only does it time with
Yeah,
spring
makes
and,
sense.
yeah, it's also the start of a whole new zodiac
Cycle.
astrology. Yeah, it's a whole new cycle. We're
That
moving
makes
into a
sense,
whole new
like, things are gonna be burst and yeah,
yeah.
okay, I'm
So we're
tracking.
moving
Yeah.
into Aries, and Aries is
Yeah.
about action, right? Aries is fire. Aries is passion and action and very bold. And Pisces is dreamy and intuitive and very like in your intuition and kind of slow and blah. And then, I mean, blah, not in a blah way. Slow is
Yeah.
good sometimes. I like action. So, of course, I'm
Yeah,
over
slow
here.
can be good.
So it can be good. It's like that final breath, right? And then we've been in retrograde, and retrograde slows things down anyways. Retrograde
Mhm.
fucks with communication. So if you've had wonky emails or your Zooms aren't working,
Yeah.
like my Zooms have not worked for fucking 2 weeks, no lie. I've had something happen all the time. And so you're getting out of that, right? Communication's been really wonky too. So all these things are ending this week. And so I can feel that. It feels like, I felt like I had this jolt when we moved into around February, when we left the year of the snake, we move into the fire horse. And I felt this like push and urge and like, yeah. And then all of a sudden it went, meow, and I can feel that, the last couple of weeks have been like, what the
Sure.
fuck? Here I am again. And now things are going to kind of pick it back up again and start moving. And so, I can feel this energy and the shift and things going on. And I I had this place. We have a salt cave here. It's really, really cool. And I honestly walked in and I'm like, Tressa would love this space. It's beautiful and woo-woo and gorgeous and just natural elements and salt everywhere, and it's a cool place. And
Mhm.
I went in and I was just kinda chatting with these people in the front, and there was this lady, and she retired that exact day. So this was Friday. And she was talking about, like, how, like, I wanna start exploring the metaphysical space, whatever that means. I mean, this woman was already practicing astral projection, which is cool, but she talked about, like, "I fucking left my body and got scared." So I don't know, she don't know what she's
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, girl, I don't know what the fuck you're doing either." But okay, whatever. Like, she was whatever. So she was, like, talking to this gal and, like, about, like, what she could do and learn, and she was 66 years old, and there's 2 things I thought was really cool about just even to kick it off. One, that you can start at any time. Like,
Mhm.
your life isn't on hold because you're an
Yeah.
age or you're at a
Yeah.
path that, and she just said, "I feel really called to do this, and I really wanna learn more, and I wanna step into this different path." And, she talked about that, and I thought that was really beautiful. Like, the day you retire, you walk into this type of
Yeah.
healing metaphysical place, right? Where they have, like, the place is very much like Intention Studio, if you're familiar with our listeners that live in Wyoming, where you've got, like, you have Reiki and you have massages, but there's also a salt cave. And then there's
Yeah.
other things that happen there too. Like, there's many, many different things that happen. I'm just
Yeah.
saying 2 things that are very easy and off the top of the cuff, but they're not easy, but you know what I mean. And she was talking about that, but then she also talked about why she was interested in stepping into this journey. And she had throat cancer. And I guess it got to a place where it was just like near death experience. And so she did experience a near death situation. And she said it was nothing like what she thought. And when she made it in this space, she's like, I didn't want to leave this earth. Like, I did not want to go. I wasn't ready. And she said, but it was nothing like what I thought it would be. And I
Mhm.
really wish I would have asked her more questions, and I wish she would have elaborated because she was really chatty and I should have asked more questions like, what did you experience? But either way, she said because of that, now she wants to bring healing to this earth. Like, she's like, I want to be a vessel to help others that are here and on this earth. And it was just really beautiful. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm so glad I crossed paths with this random person. Like, it was just like the most random shit of my life, but so cool. And she was just talking and chatty. And, she was talking even, I started telling Tressa, like, she started using language. Like, you could tell she's been reading and researching, but she
Mhm.
doesn't have all the pieces of like, she needed somewhere to anchor, I guess. And so probably
Yeah.
why she was there. She's trying to
Probably
figure
why
some
she
stuff
was
out.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, like, she started talking about she was very heavily into church in a very, like, organized religion.
Mhm.
She was a part of that, and how she's like, I never learned what Jesus did or what Jesus actually said or how he healed or what he did or what he was doing. And now, I've realized after that experience that I want to know more because there's so much more and there's so much
Mhm.
out there. And she referenced like being afraid of judgment, right? Afraid of what other people thought about her. But she talked even about like she referred to herself as a witch. And so we even went down a whole nother conversation. That's when I started, I interjected and I was like, wait a minute, because she's like, she kind of went more in that negative connotation of witch and the word
Of
witch.
which, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, listen, I'm like, I joke and I put Tress on the highest pedestal and I'm like, you are at really the supreme, but I gas you up. I gas all my people up. So if somebody's in my orbit, they get really gassed up. I put them really high. And I was like, listen, the woman that I know that's like transcended beyond all humans
Oh
on
goodness.
earth,
Yeah.
that is like
Right.
magic supreme being is a witch. And she said, and she's reclaimed this word and like truly empowered by this word and the meaning of the word. And, then I recommended her the book and we've talked about it on an episode before, but it was such a beautiful conversation. And so I guess I'm bringing this up because, like, I don't know, I feel that I really haven't had a ton of those experiences since I've moved back. Like, I haven't really connected. I mentioned my massage,
Yeah.
like, body work, and she's a Reiki master and she does past life regressions. And so, like, I have found a few people here and there, right? Like little pockets of people. But it was just such a cool thing. And it was just a beautiful thing. And I felt like sharing that on the episode today about this person and their experience. And, things feel like they're picking up. Like she inspired me, honestly. She inspired me to be like, I do have a lot of tools in my tool belt. How am I really using that? And
Mhm.
like, what am I doing? Like this person seeking these things. And I'm like, shit, what am I doing with my knowledge? Like it kind of like, it was like, oh gosh, and so I thought it was just cool. It was cool for me and it was cool for the universe to allow me to be in that moment with her and hear her story. And so, anyways, I'll shut up and let you.
Yeah, definitely divine timing. There's no
Yeah.
question, right? I mean, everything is, but
Yeah.
when you kind of get into that space with somebody, it was absolutely meant to be. So,
Yeah.
100%. And we must have been meant to talk about it because I actually had asked Myra, I sent her the witch book, and I was asking her about it, which then went into this whole story. And so, yeah, it must have been meant to be. But so what's so funny too, today I'm at the studio and I have my personal car, which has a
Mhm.
witch on my license plate. And I was cruising around I had a whole bunch of stuff to do today and I had clients before this. Oddly, I was sitting in my energy room waiting for my first client, just kind of tuning in. And something told me to get up. I don't know why. I got up.
Mhm.
Well, out the window, I could see my brother-in-law and my nephew who had pulled in to go to the gym
Mhm.
next door. I didn't even know they go to this gym, but I watched my nephew go to my car and look at my license plate. He walked over there to read
Oh
it,
my gosh.
and it cracked me up. So it's funny we're talking about
Yeah.
this, right? And so I'm like, "Oh, they're probably like, oh, I mean, they all think I'm nuts anyway." He's probably like, "Oh, she's really lost her fucking mind now. She got witch on her car even."
Yeah.
It's hilarious, right? But one thing I thought of was, like, ever since I've opened up this energy of not like this witch energy, that's really powerful
Mm.
and not it and I believe it's a high vibration. Like, the universe has brought me, people into my life and, like, I don't know if you wanna call them spells, but how to use different things. And
Mhm.
so our collective, body worker that works on me here, who Myra used to go to, is
Mhm.
very intuitive and has a lot of energy healing too. So I felt inspired to share this with you guys. So yesterday I went and saw her and she has a lemon in her energy room
Mhm.
that she put cloves in,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
cut little holes and put cloves in. Basically, it's crazy, it'll take the energy into it, right?
Mhm.
So the one in her energy room looks black now,
Wow.
probably from different energies coming
Mhm.
in and out, right? The one in her home is also tarnished a little, but not nearly as bad because we're always bringing energies in,
Yeah.
right? And in and out. So, but to me, that's a witch tool too, right? So I went yesterday, got my lemons, got my cloves. I've got one now in my house. I put one in my energy room here, and
Mhm.
it'll be really interesting to see what they start to pick up. But I mean, I think this is another tool. I think you should
Mhm.
do one in your house too.
I know, I'm about to.
Yeah, no,
Blake
honestly.
bought 2 bags of lemons, so I'm like,
Did he?
"Fuck." Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just
I'm,
get
like,
the
looking at
cloves.
him. I'm like, "Hello,
Yeah,
lemons."
the whole cloves, and I just punctured it, put the clove down in there, and let it take and absorb the lower vibrational energy.
Mhm.
But it's funny how since I've claimed that energy, these things are just showing up for me now. It's
Oh, I
just
totally agree.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
really cool how it
that
works.
I can totally relate. I feel like the more I've opened up to it and removed, like, the negative vibration association to it, and have just changed the way that I look at the word, the way I think about practice, the way I think about energy and energetic tools in the spaces that I can put myself in because of that, and it just really just changed my whole mindset around it. More and more things keep coming up, and, like, a really simple one, and I've shared this with Tressa, was about, like, using coffee in the morning and, like, being able to set your intention and manifestations in your cup of coffee and then adding cinnamon to it because cinnamon is an accelerator. And then you stir it clockwise if you're trying to manifest something, and then you go counterclockwise if you're trying to remove something. So, like, you can use it either way. Like, it doesn't have to be to gain, it can be to remove a block or any feelings or whatever it is. And it's been so interesting because, like, this is something that I've noticed even Blake starting to do, and he before might have been, like, super apprehensive about it. I don't know, and it's been fun, like, 'cause he bought me a thing of cinnamon this big.
Uh-huh.
And I shared it with Tressa because too, intention in everything, right? And anything we consume and anything that we partake of or put into our bodies or into our minds or however we're consuming. And it's cool because like coffee, I love coffee. And when I think about coffee in my life, like I want it. I go to bed dreaming of my first cup. And so there's other things too. I think Louise Hay is the one who has like there many people say these things, but I think Louise Hay also has said this too in her practices. But like that subliminal space that you're in right when you wake up in the morning, right? Like
Mhm.
when you start telling yourself first thing in the morning about like positive thoughts or manifestations, or if you journal or you script or you whatever it is, you want to start it
Mhm.
off with the best possible thought because you're in such a state of programming. And so like, I think about that with even my coffee, like that first cup of coffee I'm in such my mind is in such a programmable state. Why would I not wanna put a positive intention into that first drink
Yeah.
that I have? Like, I choose to drink coffee first thing. Some people start water or whatever, and they're a lot healthier than I am, but I'm choosing to drink the coffee, so how can I add in a positive intention to that first drink and that sip?
Yeah, and I've been doing that every day. I have my cinnamon and then I put it in my coffee and I haven't asked it to remove anything. I usually just do the clockwise and I kind of put my intention for the day in
Mhm.
it.
Yeah,
And I've seen it work.
yeah,
It's like that's how powerful we are. We just don't trust that, or we're so mindless. I just got done with a coaching client before we started this podcast, and he was talking about, like, since he's had a big major shift in his life through a transition. He lost a daughter, and he said it's just crazy how I see most people just in survival mode. It's like,
mhm,
and now he's recognizing things that he's never seen before. And I said, yeah,
mhm,
most people are only in survival mode because they don't want to learn, they don't want to change, they don't want to look within, right? Or try these
mhm.
things, right? Like I always tell my clients, I'm going to give you stuff to try. I'm going to tell you what I believe it will do, but try it for yourself, right? Like
Yeah,
there's many ways to do different things. And then the proof is in the pudding, as they say, right? You'll see
yeah,
your results will shift because you shifted, right?
mhm,
You shift, everything shifts,
yeah.
But I think it's interesting because we talked about, like, what are we going to talk about today? Well, obviously, I think people need some of these little recipes that we gave them because I had no intention in doing that specifically. But these are little things like, don't take it from Tressa and Myra, do it yourself. Like,
Yeah,
do these little things yourself and start to see what happens, what shifts in your life, right? Because when you do things with intention, it's a game changer.
yeah,
Right? So often we're just bopping around with no intention and no mindfulness about what we're doing.
yeah. I agree. I also think too, like I really had to think about it the other day. I think, Tress and I've shared before too, doing these episodes sometimes are more for ourselves. Sometimes it feels like,
Sometimes, yeah.
yeah. And I was, about 2 weeks ago, one, we had the flu off and on, and I've shared that. And it's been a very, really strange
Yeah.
last like few weeks. Like, I don't like it. And
Yeah,
so
you've had a lot of sickness, huh?
I look forward
Yeah.
to this shift, whatever the shift may be. But I this goes back to that moving around mindlessly. And like I told you guys, I'm back on the wagon. But also part of that too is one day I was sitting there and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I shared, I love to be in my head. It's my favorite place to be. But being in your head is one thing, but you have to be in tune with your body and the body and bringing it into the body or bringing your life to. And also, what I mean by in the body is in the physical world too. Like you have to be in the physical world or none of this stuff can ground or attach or manifest, right? It can't. can't happen. Like, that's just not going to happen. And, I was thinking though, the other day, I'm like, I have to be the change that I want to see. I can't be
Mhm.
walking around like, why aren't my kids doing this? Or why doesn't my husband want to do this? Or why don't Jim Bob's and Weibala want to do this? Or like, why won't this move or change? Or I'm manifesting it. I'm in my head. I'm wanting it. I'm believing. But then what am I physically doing to move something forward? And I've really thought about it and I've had such a shift. And that sounds ridiculous. Like, of course, Myra, duh, and I know these things, but it's easy to go back and forth and be in these slumps and like sickness knocks people out of routines or things.
Mhm.
We have little things in life, like with Trista's mom. Trista's routine got all willy wonky for
Oh,
2 months
yeah.
now. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
there's so much that
Yeah.
is going on, but then there's little things in our lives that can knock us off and back and forth, and you gotta get back on the horse or whatever, and back on the wagon, whatever. And, since I've really started just like loving who I am in this moment, not what I think I need to be or not where I should have been or not where I could be, but like I can still be there, I can still manifest and script and live in that world that is true, but I've been bringing it physically into my body, into the present, and just really loving where I'm at and really loving the moments and the time and the space and loving my job, or like loving coloring for God's sakes, or whatever it is. Like, and just really tuning into those things. I've noticed such a shift in even my home and the energy around me in my home. And like just this last week, we got a report on both of our kids. I didn't ask for the report, but both of them apparently had the best weeks ever. They
Wow,
had
that's
these
cool.
beautiful weeks. Yeah, they had great weeks. Nola deals with school anxiety and social anxieties. It's mostly around school. And this week one day she came home and she told me, she's like, Mom, this was a beautiful day. I can't wait to go back and have another beautiful day. So like attitudes and momentums have shifted. And, even with Draco, like, I guess he was getting in trouble. I didn't even know that. But he's also 2. I don't really know, like, what he's doing, but they apparently said he's had a great week. Like, he was amazing and things were wonderful and great. And so I say this because even in my own life, you make these small changes or just really embodying what it is and moving into this present space. And when you make one change or you make one move or whatever it is, it's a domino effect and it really does shift the whole energy. And so like, even in my own personal life, I can see the shifts realigning around everyone and everywhere, like, I don't know. So it's been really cool for me to notice like when I've made myself a priority again, or I've had more time in my day, you know what I mean? Like, or I've found
Yeah.
myself like every day, things have been shifting in such a beautiful direction. And it was just really honing in and being like, okay, I got to get out of my head and I have to be into the body. And so it's been cool to see that movement for me in my life, especially these last couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I always say that the body knows everything. I tune into my body all the time, right? Like what is happening in my emotional body is a representation of my physical body. And to
Hmm.
your point, like my world has been wild for the last couple of months because of my mom's illness. So I've been back and forth and my routines have been shifted. And well, then guess what? I have a rash on my boob. And I'm like, I was so unaware, like, so unaware of myself when I was originally with her in the hospital. I kept
Hmm.
itching, like,
Hmm.
I'm like, "What the hell is going on with my boob?" It just kept itching,
Hmm.
and I never looked at it, like, I
Yeah.
can't even tell you why, Myra, it was insane, right? So I
Yeah.
get back home, and, like, I'm home for 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, "Finally, hey, you might wanna look at what's happening down there because it's not
Yeah.
getting any better." Well, I had this rash on it, right? So then I start thinking, "Okay," anyway, long story short, it's getting cleared up. It was that a rash is like, kind of being a baby. I mean, really, and I hate to admit this,
Yeah.
but it's like attention seeking. But I
Mhm.
think it was just so much stress in my body too. When all of the attention was diverted out, like I wasn't giving myself any attention.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing my self-care. I wasn't doing
Mhm.
any of those things, right? And so, I've really, as I've been back home, tried to get back into my routines. And my mom was even hospitalized again. I
Mhm.
literally got home on Tuesday. She had to go back to the hospital Wednesday. And immediately my husband's like, "Do we need to get you a flight?" And I just
Mhm.
said, "No, no." My guides
Mm-mm.
told me, "No." you've got to recalibrate yourself. You've
Mhm.
got to be here. She's safe. She's getting taken care of.
Mhm.
And it's like, I was able to get my massage and get back into my routine and get this thing cleared up. And you gotta, so it was a good reminder for me that this isn't, I'm going to still be going back and forth, but I've got to prioritize my own time, even when I'm not here, my
Mhm.
grounding, my stuff, because it comes quick. I tell people the higher you vibrate, the quicker you manifest stuff both
Oh
ways.
my god, I know.
Whether you want to view it as I hate positive and negative, but low or high, right?
Yeah.
And boy, did I circle that right quick.
Yeah.
So, and then I wanted to say this because you mentioned something, and I wrote this down. I want to hit on it. Is you said sometimes we do this podcast for ourselves, and it was so funny. I was with a friend yesterday, and I don't know if she listens to
Mhm.
this. I'm not really sure. But she said something, we weren't even talking about it. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, we were in line at the dollar store. And she's like, "So, do you get paid for your podcast yet?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, well, you've done that a long time, and you make sure you get it done every week."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." And it was just a weird comment. And I felt the energy of, I don't want to say judgment, but like, why the hell would you do that without getting paid? Kind of. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And what's so funny is Myra and I I've told Myra this before. Like, there have been times where I'm like, is this even doing anything?
Mhm.
Is this podcast helpful? And we're not, I mean, hey, like,
I'd love
subscribe.
to.
Maybe one day
Hello?
we'll get paid. But hey, no, I mean, but was never the intention of this,
Yeah.
right? And every time I've had the doubt, I've
Mhm.
always gotten confirmation. Somebody's messaged me and said something about the podcast, how it helped them.
Mhm.
But it's interesting because I felt like their perspective was if it's not giving you something financially, why would you do it? But
Mhm.
it's giving us other ways of seeking abundance, right? Like that, it's enhancing
Yeah.
me, it's enhancing Myra,
Mhm.
it's helping others. It's bigger than just that. And if one day it turns into that, great. And if one day it doesn't, that's okay also.
Yeah.
It's just interesting, different people's perceptions. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I actually love that you're bringing that up because yes, I would love to be paid for this.
Yes,
I desire to be paid to exist, okay? Please.
I have that written down somewhere. I
Yes,
get paid just for existing.
seriously, there's a couple things. So um, I love this. I love this conversation because I was going, okay, I'm trying to think of how I want to say it. So
Take a breath.
yeah.
I can feel your brain going.
Yeah, my brain's going crazy. So I've been really honing in a lot on astrology and like astrological placements, and I talk about it off and on the podcast, right? At the beginning of the year, I made this really strange commitment. Strange because it feels strange at times, and I want to give up a lot to be very present publicly. I don't know whatever that means, like if I'm posting or talking, and I've been really studying mostly astrology on this forefront, and I call it my social experiment right now. And I was looking into my birth chart, and I have a Gemini stellium in the 11th house. Now that is freaking Latin to half you people. You're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what
me
the
too.
fuck are you
I have
talking
no
about?
idea what that means.
But what it is, folks, I have more than one more than one sign in the same house. So I have 4 placements of Gemini in my 11th house, and the 11th house is your network, your community, presence, social. Honestly, translates in today's terms, digital. And Geminis rule the throat,
Mm.
communication. My
Mhm.
Mercury's in Gemini, communication. My son's in Gemini. There's a million things that I have going on in Gemini, and all of it ties into talking. And if you analyze the birth chart or my particular birth chart and you place it on career paths, it's literally podcasting, writing, marketing, branding. And I think that is so fucking cool because I live that life.
Mhm.
I am being paid millions of dollars, which putting it out there or not, it's so cool because I came to this conclusion in January. I did the 12 or the 13 days of Yule, my Yule intentions. I started this at the end of December. I had never really dug into my birth chart like this before. and saw this or understood it or what it means. And I have so much influence in literally what I'm doing every single week with Tressa or what I'm doing on other social media platforms. And know that I'm doing it because it's aligning my soul for something that I'm meant to be doing. I don't know what it is right now, but I have faith, and that is what this is, right? Belief and faith and
Yep.
comfort that the more I continue to share my voice, which I'm meant to do, and if you believe in birth charts or you believe in astrology or whatever, or if you don't, who knows? I feel that that is a calling of mine to share my voice. I also believe it is a calling of mine to translate concepts into digestible information for others. And what's fun is I can even back that up in my Gallup strengths. So even in like corporate personality test, this is the same thing that shows up. So I've got this like birth chart in my astrology and in the woo woo, right? And then in the corporate space, it says the same thing. And so I
Yeah.
know that I'm called to do this. And I don't know what this will do for me. I have no idea yet. But the more and more I continue to put myself out there, have these conversations, be raw and honest, commit to my voice, commit to the gifts that I've been given, to really move into these space, to be seen, to be heard, to share what I know and what I've learned. I know that there is a ripple effect payoff somewhere. Don't know what it is. I hope, and I don't even know what payoff means. Let me even rephrase that. Like pay doesn't even mean, maybe it is monetary. That would be fucking great. Maybe it is friendships. Maybe it is love. I don't know. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this ties into what you're saying there, Tressa. Like I continue to do this, and there's a commitment to this space and living my life and my soul's purpose. And to me, that is the most rewarding thing that I can do for myself. And
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
like, it doesn't have to have a result in this moment. And I think people are so used to that shit, that instant gratification, the result in the moment. And this has taught me so much. Like we started this podcast and I was at a really low. I was very low vibrational. I was going through a lot of shit. I've continued to do it through that entire progression. I'm in a different place. I'm in my rebuilding phase of life. And it's been really cool that to just show up and just continue to do this. And I feel that the more and more I pour myself into my soul's calling, the universe sees me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like the
yeah,
universe
exactly. I
knows what
get
I'm
it.
doing and they see me.
Yeah.
And my guides, my angels, the universe, source are cheering me on. So, whatever that means. Now, if I chose to not do this, I don't know if I would have the same path. So, I feel that this is part of my path.
Yeah, I also believe, like, I believe when you're meant to do something, it aligns with ease. You're in
Hmm.
flow, the
Yeah.
flow state.
Hmm.
And as busy as both of us are,
Yeah.
with
Oh,
that,
yeah.
with the exception of the 1 week where my mom was in the hospital and I was gone, we've always found time to do this. Like,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. I know I'm meant to do it because it aligns and
Hmm.
we don't have a lot of conflicts, you know?
Mm-mm.
That's the other reason why I thought, no, I'm meant to do this, 100% for now. And like what you're saying is for maybe forever, maybe not, maybe. I just always have thought Myra and I are going to get a talk show.
Yeah, hey, I'm on board. I actually know what we're really going to be doing, and I sent it to Pressa this week, and I'm very on board with it.
I mean, I think we're going to be on TV. So, anyhow,
Yeah, and I guess I'm saying all this for those listening, even if something makes no damn sense in the
yes.
moment
Yeah.
and you feel fulfilled by it, or you feel called to do it, or you feel that there is a reason that you are doing these things. Maybe you sign up for a random ass photography class and you're like, what the hell am I going to do with this? And you just do
Mhm.
it for fun. Who knows? Who knows? But this is life. Like every path, every step we take, everything we do is a ripple effect for something else, right?
Yes.
And it impacts something later in life. I don't know what the fruits of this looks like yet, but I know there will be fruits to
Yes.
this. Whether even if it's sharpening a skill or a knowledge, you know what I mean? I don't know. So this is one of those things where I I know what my life felt like when I hid my talents, and I know what my life felt like when I hid from the public. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to run away to the woods about 99% of the time and get off the grid and say fuck everybody and hide. A lot. I really do.
Yeah.
But I noticed how much my life felt when I wasn't in the sun. I guess in the sun's the best way I could phrase it. Like, I need to be in the sun. When I'm not in the sun, I'm really not aligning with my soul's path or
With who you
purpose.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
get
that's
that.
not me showing up in my authenticity or me showing up in my most Myra way of life.
Mhm.
And then that does have other ripple effects. So, and I see things all the time too where you might feel stupid or silly or ridiculous for applying for a job, for example, or taking that class, or for showing up like that lady, for goodness sakes. Go back to the beginning of the episode. She's 66 years old and was standing in the middle of this metaphysical space talking about astral projection and like, hey, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just want to know more. I want to
Yeah.
know more. And it was like the last she retired and she's like, I'm out of corporate and I want to fucking focus on my healing life. I want to do this
Mhm.
shit.
Yeah.
And, what if she would have felt ridiculous and silly going to do that? You know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean?
not done it.
And not done it. And, like something that other people were in the lobby talking about were like they started sharing their own feelings about like, that's so cool. Like I think about in times in my life I waited so long or I didn't do this or didn't do that. So you just don't know. You just don't know. So even if you feel ridiculous or you feel like maybe you're not ready for that yet or you don't know enough, because I do struggle with that too. Sometimes I struggle with, do I know enough? Do I have all the knowledge I need to have to say what I'm saying or to talk about what I'm talking about or to do what I'm doing or to whatever it is, whether it's in a personal space, metaphysical, corporate, whatever. I do struggle with that. And that's something that I'm aware of. And that's something that when I get over me, the mind, when I get over that and the insecurities, things flow better for me in my life because it's the leap of faith that I need to take versus having it all figured out right away,
Mhm.
And so maybe I meant to talk about this today for someone out there who's
Must be, because that's where
debating.
we went.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
have
know if
no
we
doubt.
got there. Yes. Don't get me started on my stellium because I'm like, what the fuck, But yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's where I'm here.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, we got a little bit of time left. Do we wanna talk about Myra pulled some cards for us today.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny? I thought they were random as fuck. And I'm like, they're not gonna fit on this episode. And ha ha ha.
Uh-huh.
Guess what, guys? Here they are. So let me share
Here they
with
are.
you the cards.
Let's see.
Okay, so let me pull them up. I have it right here. So we have first leadership. LOL. We just talked about it.
We
So
did. Oh
we
my god.
did. That's why I'm
That's
laughing.
wild.
I'm laughing.
Yeah.
That's why. So the first card I pulled is leadership. And so leadership is you're being asked to step forward in your voice. So you're not being passive about things. So you're guiding, speaking, sharing perspective, and trusting that people are meant to hear what you have to say. Oh my
My
God.
god. That's hilarious.
Haha. Okay.
Look at us
There's that.
aligning.
Yes. And this card is associated with your higher self. So usually I got this deck. It's a beautiful deck. It's called Ask Your Guides. I work really well with cards. I've noticed I like oracle cards. I like tarot. It doesn't matter. I feel really inspired and I'm really in tune to cards. So, anyways, that's a side note. So, if you're looking for what these are, that's what it is. Anyways, but this one is your higher self. So, channeling your higher self, taking that step. And then the next card I pulled is Perseverance. And it's a beautiful card. So, if you watch on YouTube,
Mhm.
the
Oh, it
imagery is
is.
beautiful. And so this is a card that comes up when you're close to a breakthrough. And so you're in the last stretch. So stay consistent. Just what I was talking about. When things feel ridiculous or
Mhm.
silly or like, what am I doing? Keep posting, keep talking, keep taking the classes, whatever it is, keep going because you don't just keep going. This is what this is showing up for. And so for this one, it's your joy guides. And joy guides, I'll tell you what they are.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about those.
Yeah, because that was one I learned about.
I know. This
So
is interesting.
yeah,
These
so
new
your joy
guides.
guides, they ask you not to give up, even if you don't see the results yet from your efforts. You are here to learn to successfully create the life that you want. So you're facing a steeper leaning curve right now, but you're encouraged to persevere. Go slow and don't judge yourself. Some things take more time and effort than you originally imagined. And it's like you may make mistakes, but that's okay. That's part of learning. But success will eventually come if you keep at it. And so, with these, your joy guides encourage you to ask for their help in removing the blocks and blind spots that keep you from attracting what you really want in life. So call on your joy guides for that. They
Mm,
can help you remove blocks from what's keeping you. And their message is don't give up. So,
okay.
I like that one. And
Yeah,
then
I
I
love
pulled
that.
4. Sorry, guys, this is long-winded. But I
Oh,
pulled
this
a
is good.
surprise, and she's got a little
Okay.
heart box,
Yeah. Oh, look at
and
that. Yeah.
it's a beautiful card. And then for surprise, again, this is also your joy guides.
Oh, same
Joy
guides.
guides,
Okay.
yeah, same
Joy
guides.
guides.
But this is just basically saying something unexpected or better is coming. So this is gonna resonate with, like, if the payoff isn't looking like what you think, it's still gonna come. There's surprises out there, so stay open to them, stay in tune, I've had this card come up before for me, and it's like looking through the opportunities, right? Like, this is more of that looking at the glass half full, not empty, because surprises are out there. If they're not, when we get in our mind, something's going to look a certain way, we ignore all the other beautiful things around us. And so that one is more of what that card is like, look into it. And
That's
then
funny. We talked about all these things in some
I
aspect. That's
know.
great. What
See, I told y'all
confirmation, man.
I'm an
Yeah.
oracle card person.
Yeah, you
I have
are.
a gift. I
This
have
is cool.
discovered I have a gift
Yeah.
of cards, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
do a roadshow. Anyways, this one is the Ease card, and she's beautiful.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
this. This is a very pretty card. And so now this one is your runner guides, and I was talking to Tressa about this card when we first
Oh,
started.
yeah.
But ease, this is where this like usually the final card is the final like emotion of the spread. But this is saying that when you push through and you do persevere, things begin to flow more naturally. You do not have to force anything. Once momentum builds, life starts to feel lighter. And so I really like this one too. And I'll read a little more in the book. But so your runner guides, you want them to work for you by asking them to help you in every matter that arises each day. They will save you time, reveal hidden opportunities and openings, and bring you abundant gifts and blessings, and reinforce the beauty and riches of the universe flowing through your life. So turn on the light of your spirit, open the door to your heart, and welcome all the blessings coming your way. And their message is life doesn't have to be so hard. Let us help you in every way possible and know that we love you unconditionally and want to serve.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful card.
Yeah. And I learned something new. I didn't know runner guides and joy guides. I'm going to start asking them.
Yeah.
Or
There's
yeah.
there's other ones, so I'll
Yeah.
share with you, Tressa, too, but they're so cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was really inspired. I spent way too much money on oracle cards one day, but it's okay. I was really inspired. I couldn't pick one deck, and I got a couple, and I feel that something that I wanna work on is, like, trusting myself and my messages and my inspiration I get from my guides or my higher self or whatever message is coming through, and I love these cards, and so I wanted to learn more about guides and energies that I can call on, and that's why I have the deck.
Yeah. I
That's
know,
what I've
it's
pulled.
cool. It's always good to I mean, keep learning, and I truly believe, like, one of the spiritual laws that we're here with is free will.
Mhm,
But when you start to engage and you're asking these guides for help or whoever, they can really start to help you. You
mhm.
got to be the one to ask.
Yeah.
And I had somebody today ask, like, can your guides, like, if you're at a lower vibration or you get really frustrated, will your guides leave? And I go, your guides or angels are always there. If you disconnect, the disconnects from you. It's always you. So
Mhm.
yes, you can, but it's never them. It's
Yeah.
you. It's
Yeah.
you go back down into that lower vibration energy that I call the monkey mind, and you get in
Mhm.
victim energy or whatever it is that
Yeah.
and yet then it is harder to connect to them. Yes, of course
Mhm.
that can happen. So I'm excited to try Joy and Runner Guides this. I'm already talking to them. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, tell me,
Yeah.
SOS, report back. Tell
Yeah.
me, supreme being, what you find
So
out.
I'm stoked. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, it was really cool. So, this was a very different episode, folks. I hope you enjoyed it
I know it's fun.
and like the message at the end.
Yeah, and I think it would be cool. One thing that I don't know, can they make comments on Spotify? I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be really fun to see, and we'll have to look before our next episode. Like if you do call on some of these guys, your
Mhm.
runner guides or your joy guides, share your experience. I'd love to see that. I know
Yeah.
you can on YouTube, but I don't know.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
comment. So
So
comment.
comment, tell
Let us
us.
know
I'd love to hear. So awesome. Well, until next time, keep your vibrations way high.
and stay sassy.